Hey guys, SPiEkY here with another ranked match commentary, I hope. This time we got Tiny over here. I think still playing his skeleton deck that he's been trolling around with lately against Agirgis, who's got his Spellkaiser and his Priestess out so far. I kind of just saw this game pop up and like I wasn't here right off the bat, but you know, I joined it when I saw it, so sorry for the voice shift there. I had something in my throat. Anyways, Priestess moving up, taking the font. He's got the Tomb Lord out up here. He's going to start moving up, and he's probably going to take that font before he starts spitting out skeletons from it. He is running Summon 2, interestingly enough. Because it's got better stats, I suppose. It only makes him cost, 77, which, I mean, oh, big fucking whoop, man, For some baller-ass skeletons, hell yeah. He's got his Doom Ball out. Fire jab there on that Bonelli. Now, if that font wasn't there, that would have been a decent enough Dark Rising spawn. Just as far as, moving in and attacking it is concerned, but he's probably getting ready for the altar. I mean, he's going to grab his font up there, and he might put that. I'm not sure where he's going to put it. I mean, if he wants to just take that out, then I suppose right there would probably be the best spot, because then he can move all his guys in and just wail on that shit and it would kill it. You'd have that mid font. That might even be one of those things where it's game. Oh, he's putting it right there. That way he didn't have to move him. And then he's going to do that. Priestess down. Grab the font, or grab the globe. He's got the font. No, move the Bonelli up. That's probably a better move, yeah. So he's got that font. He's got that font. Priestess is down. That may have just won him the game right there. Plus he's got that sack altar there and that font, so when he tries to assault that font, he can just keep shoving the shit out of skeletons in there, and it's just, anything that gets within 6 spaces of that thing, he can just wail on. So, I mean, he's doing pretty good, realistically. Deployed the Blood Goyle down here. Interesting. And he just, I believe, consumed? Is that what he did there? Yeah, consumed a little skeleton to give him a little more health on that Bonelli, because it had been hit with the jab and I think something else even. There's the Bone Circle Archmage, so he can start he can do the Bone Prison. There's another Blood Goyle, so I mean if he moves that Doom Ball up, too much, I mean, he can move it right there and double tap. I mean, he's purposely did that, though, with his Bone Elemental, so that way he could get attacked a whole bunch, because that's exactly what he wants. He wants that Bone Elemental to get hit, because it'll, make a bunch of little fucking skeletons. And then, bam, fucking A, you got skeletons, you got the sacrificial altar, I mean, shit's dying. And that's in such a position where, I mean, he just has to deploy it, in this half of the font. Or over there, and he can, sack anything. Now, he's probably going to try and take out those little skeletons as soon as they appear like that. That's probably the smarter move. And like I mentioned up here, the Tomb Lord, he got in that font and immediately started shitting out skeletons. I mean, he's hexed right now, but he's going to be teleporting into that font next turn, unless he does something about him. But over there's the bone prison on that, which actually caused the other one to summon up there, I suppose. That was a pretty slick spot for it. He's the skeletal lurper, which I can only assume is going to be up this general region. No, it's not in any of those three spots, so he might have even dropped it down here, just going for the all-out, you know, kind of fuck you move. There he is, starting to wail on that blood coil. We can't really do too much because it's got Scrapper. So I mean, there he's putting the DOT on it from the lesser Bone Mauler, because that'll at least be consistent damage. Oh, dropping a cord. Alright, so there's the Spellkaiser moving up and then teleporting in, because he had to. He kind of got blocked off the spot he was going to teleport to. Dropping his banner in that font, checking to see if the Lurper was there, I suppose, partially. And then starting to wail. Down here he just killed a Grave Warrior. The one that was over there, he killed it by moving him over. So there he is, taking out both of those little guys. So I mean, he's just trying to keep the little guys down for the most part over here. He probably has that Lurper, Tiny does, down here. And if it's not down there, then he might have hit it like right there, expecting him to come teleport in and drop a banner or something. But I mean, that's not... I mean, you don't necessarily want the Lurper here, because his damage overlaps with, or no it doesn't, he's got magic damage, so he would actually have been a great deploy. Maybe 3 different damage types against one with Nora Champ. There's the ED, there's the Lurper, threw him down right there, and he's just going to smack it with the Undead Warrior. And there's that, taking his font mostly back. Or, well, taking it all the way back, because he's got the Tomb Lord there still to smack that. Agirgis here deployed the Gloombringer. And then since... oh! Ouch! He got bounced. Otherwise he would have done some pretty hefty damage to that blood goyle. And it, you know, it's still gonna die from eviscerated. But that was a pretty slick bounce. So Tiny's got his font back up here, even though he just lost his what's it called? Bone Elemental down there. And he's gonna start having that Archmage weld on after the altar's dead, of course, because that's important to take out that mid font. And he might just move that blood goyle in to grab the blood ball. So he's contesting the font. He healed himself back up. But Tiny decisively won this top font and is starting to throw down some more skeletons and head for that other font. So I mean, he still is he's still doing pretty good, because he's still contesting this mid font. And he's getting his Tomb Lord out over here. So he's just going to back up a little bit. You know, kind of just be like, alright, well, you know, screw you guys. I'll just kind of hold back. You know, as long as I'm still contesting the font, right? You know, just staying mostly out of attack range, except that everything was in attack range of that blood goyle because of multi. So then Agirgis here moving the Gloombringer up, and of course moving his other guys up. He may be... No, I was saying he may be playing like a Prize of Victory type of thing, where he smacked it with a bunch of stuff, but he instead deployed the Gloombringer up here, another one. Let's see what's going on. Tiny's just kind of moving up for now. Hexing the Doom Ball. Surprisingly, not the blood goyle. Now I'm assuming he dropped a relic in that font. Or, well, he already has his banner, but I'm assuming he has some other relic he may have dropped in that font. Because otherwise he would have known that he just gave the font to Agirgis. So, I mean, he may have something like Shadow Spawn down yonder or something that he just didn't happen across yet. Deploying a Doom Ball up there, smacking the Undead Warrior with the fire jab with it. So he's trying to defend that top font up there. Oh, I guess he didn't have anything Shadow Spawn, so he also took that font. So I mean, Tiny's got some decent board presence, but Agirgis here is now up on fonts, and he was able to take out his Tiny's Sack Altar. I'm sure he runs too. That's like a big portion of his deck. There's the Unholy Tomb. Now, I've been seeing people lately try and say that the Unholy Tomb is, that it got nerfed and that it's less auto now, and I'm not buying it. It's still amazing. I mean, sure, it doesn't do as much damage as it did before, but you still get the same amount of Nora, or, well, I guess it's a 1-to-1 Nora ratio as far as damage to Nora. So I mean, for every unit they have out, so 5 in this case, he's getting 5 extra Nora a turn right now. Like, right off the bat. Plus, it's no longer an undead thing, it's just an all your enemy guys, so you can even have it in any sort of mix deck, or like a Stitch deck, or hell, even like a human deck, or fuck it, whatever you want. You can, any split that's now auto in. Because, I mean, while it doesn't snowball quite so hard anymore, because it doesn't just turn into ludicrous amounts of Nora, it still ends up being a decent Nora gen source. And it usually will pay for itself. I mean, within just, a handful of turns. And it's no longer the big tempo hit that it was, because it was like 45 or 50 Nora or some shit. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, it was a big tempo hit. Like, you actually had to decide oftentimes between dropping that down and throwing down a champ. But now it's not really a tempo hit. It's 35 damn Nora. Hell, you can almost use it to contest a font. It's 20 health. Shit. Anyways, Tiny looks like just kind of holding himself back there. Just kind of tempting Agirgis a little bit. Who is disconnected, I guess. I'm not sure if he actually DC'd. He may have actually just legitimately disconnected. And I'm not sure how long that's been there. That may have been there for most of my Unholy Tomb tirade, which was actually perfect timing for it, if I must say so. But, I mean, he still has 3.5 minutes to reconnect. He's in a good enough spot that, I mean, he could still very easily win this. But Tiny is also in a great spot and could very easily win this. Which is why I'm assuming Tiny hasn't decided to force a friendly quit. Because that is something that you can do, or at least you used to be able to do, is if someone disconnects and it's on that timer or whatever like that, and you request a friendly quit, it'll auto-accept for that person, because they're not there. But I think Tiny's still pretty sure that he can win this game. He only tends to do that move when he's losing. So I assume that's what's going on here, is that he's just actually letting the... I mean, if anything, he'll just let the timer run out, and that's a free win for him. He doesn't have to force a friendly quit. Because he's not losing, he still could very easily win this. I mean, down here he's got his Archmage, his Tomb Lord, who's already spitting out little skellies. Whereas up here he's got another Tomb Lord and a Lurper, and he already has 2 skellies out, and I think he can drop another one like next turn, or maybe the turn after or something. I mean, he's got the Gloombringer, Doombringer the bringers are bringing it. As well as the blood coil down here. I'm sorry, that was so stupid. Oh Lord, I couldn't help myself as soon as I saw that both their names ended in bringer. And it's even the bringer. It's just a GL versus a D, which, I mean, that GL just looks kind of like a backwards D. It's kind of funny when you think about it. I mean, if you were to turn that around, it'd be a line and then a big old loopy schwoopy there, and that's what a fucking D is. I mean, it just would have that little weird embellishment in the middle. Agirgis has minute something to reconnect here. He may have just completely lost internet or something, which would be a shame. He's in a really good position here, for the most part. He's doing pretty good. His timer is just running out. He's back, but he just lost a turn, which may have lost him the game, losing a whole turn like that. Because now Tiny can move up. He had apparently another lurper down there that I missed. Oh no, I think I remember that being deployed. I just didn't make a note of it. Moving the undead warrior in. He's going to probably, if he didn't already drop like a relic or something in there, he's probably going to. It's otherwise moving in for the kill. He's going to drop a sack altar somewhere. I can guarantee it. There's the surrender, because Agirgis lost his turn and he was about to get sack altered. It was really just game over for him at that point. I mean, he was doing great, but losing that turn just cost him the game. So, I mean, yeah, GG internet. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.